there, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for those that have subscribed. I'm truly grateful for every one of you that come and enjoy this journey with me, and I look forward to giving you this message. And the message today is the art of being vulnerable. Why we find it so difficult to be vulnerable, why people suppress their vulnerability and their authentic side inside themselves. Why is it so difficult to show up and be the true you? And what are the consequences that we have to deal with around not being vulnerable? So this fear that we have inside of us of being fully seen by other people, it's led us to this sort of society that's underpinned by self-suppression. And it's all just because we fear judgment. If we fully show up and be ourselves, then we might not be accepted by other people. Our opinions, what we wear, what we drive, what our belief system is, it might not be accepted by others, so therefore we stay hidden. Another thing that really annoys me, completely irks me, and makes me feel really sad, is that when someone's vulnerable, we seem to parallel that with it being seen as some sort of weakness. It takes much courage to be vulnerable and completely authentic to yourself. We've got a society that's trying to run the masses of people, tell them to be this, wear that, follow that, what's trending, whatever it is. And so we're all just not making decisions for ourselves. We're just following the crowd, doing what Mrs. Jones down the road's doing, keeping up with everybody else, and not really doing what we really want to do ourselves. And as far as the weakness thing goes, I'm going to give you an example. When somebody cries and let themselves go in a vulnerable way of being emotional, what is the first thing they do when they pull themselves back together and wipe their tears away and start feeling better again? What is the first thing the person says? Oh, I'm sorry. Why do we say sorry? Why would we be sorry for letting ourselves go and being seen as slightly emotional, upset, not fully 100% on par with being real strong and yeah? It's just crazy. Annoys the shit out of me. Okay, I'm going to read you a poem. It was written by a man called Robert R. McGammon, sorry. It's called Starseeds. We all start by knowing magic. We are born with whirlwinds and forest fires and comets inside of us. We are born able to sing to the birds and read the clouds and see our destiny in the grains of sand. But then we get the magic educated right out of us. We get it churched out, we get it spanked out, we get it combed out, we get it schooled out, we get it washed out, and we get put on the straight and narrow path and told to grow up for God's sakes. And why do you think that they were telling us that? Who? Because the people doing the telling were afraid of our wildness and youth, and because the magic we knew made them ashamed and sad of what they'd allowed to wither in themselves. Isn't that interesting? We're all born the same, we're all come here having the same human experience, we just have different challenges. At different stages of our lives, we all make different choices, but do we? Or do we just follow what's trending? So social norms, what does that mean when I say social norms? It's like the ideologies, the what's trending, the keeping up with the Joneses, the what everyone else at your school's doing, what everyone else in your neighbourhood's doing. It's all those things that make everyone sort of follow the same clickiness, and if they step out of that, God forbid they might be judged. They might be looked at as I've been called a hippie many a times, probably because I wear harem pants and carry crystals. I'm so strange. I don't care. Standing out from the crowd is something that a courageous person does. Someone that's actually showing up and being them, not trying to fit in with the masses, doing what everyone else is doing to keep themselves hidden, safe, and suppressed. We seem to have traded our love of what we want for the love of how we look. And this is just really never going to be a good outcome for us, is it? What we have now is a society that is self-medicated, obese, in debt, anxiety-driven, competitive, addicted, just to keep ourselves safe and hidden. We do all these things to show up in this unauthentic way of ourselves, or we suppress it using these other tools that have actually become the normality. It's disgusting. And it's just scary. Like, where is the compassion gone with the people? We're all the same. We are all the same. When we suppress our inner truth, our authenticity, our inner knowing of who we're supposed to be, our true self, we also suppress lots of different things. We don't get to choose when we're self-medicating, or whether it's recreational drugs or prescribed drugs from a doctor, or whether it's exercising too much or eating too much, or whatever. We're keeping ourselves safe and feeling good about ourselves because we have this fear of stepping away from that. We don't get to choose which emotions get suppressed by these tools that we use. We don't get to choose. So therefore, yes, vulnerability holds lots of fear, and it might be fear of judgment, fear of being vulnerable to the world of, will this business work? Will this idea work? What will people think? It doesn't matter. When you suppress using some sort of outside of yourself tool, you also suppress your creativity. You suppress your joy, your love, connection with yourself, connection with others. And let's be real, we came here to feel connection, did we not? We all came here to have this human experience and feel connected. One of the most important things for a human being to feel is love. Love of self should come first. And then after that, when you've mastered that, you should be able to learn to accept and love others. I'm going to tell you a little story. I was on the plane not very long ago, coming back from my sister's birthday, and I sat next to this lovely woman, and she was vulnerable to me. She told me she had a great fear of flying. She pretty much wanted to hold my hand when we're taking off, and I just took it on board myself to just sit there, chat with her, crack a few jokes, have a few funnies on her level, take her mind off the moment of what she held fear around, which was flying. And this art of opening up, which she expressed to me, actually brought both of us opportunity. We both got to connect. We both got to have a little yak about different things. I found out that she's in need of someone to come and speak at her women's group, which I found an opportunity in that to go and do so. And everyone was a winner. And it was just that small little inkling she had in herself of, I have to tell this woman beside me, being me, that I have a fear of flying. And I was rapt to help her feel better about herself in that moment and to ease some fear out of it. We seem to be really quick to remind people of what they're not good at, what won't work, what your opinion is of what they're doing, and God, it's none of your business. People take it really personally what other people seem to think about them. I have always been a person to question stuff. Hasn't won me friends a lot of times, but it's also allowed me to be true to me. Why are you doing that? Why do you think that? What's that for? Ever since I was a kid, ask my mum, annoying. But you've got to question things in the world. Don't just follow the masses, what everyone else is doing. What's right for Mrs. Jones is not right for Mrs. Smith. We're all different. We're all the same humans, having the same human experience. Yeah, but we're all different. We've all got different paths, different purposes, different callings, different skills, different talents. Do you remember when COVID-19 was on? Do you know what the thing I loved about COVID-19? The old love thy neighbour came back. People started to walk their dogs and wave out to each other, have some compassion, because everybody, every single person, every human on this planet was brought back to ground zero. Everyone was stripped of anything. There was no Mercedes hierarchy going on. It was, I've got more loo roll than you. It was way better than having a Mercedes Benz. Everything was stripped back to just the basics. So I ask you the miracle question. Are you living the life that you think you should be? Or are you living the life you really want to? We all come here to feel connected. And if we can all just have some sort of sense of compassion on a whole collective group, every person that's listening to this, I hope you take this message and can share it with others, because we need to rise up as a nation. I'm in New Zealand, as a nation, as a global entity, and start seeing each other, like really seeing each other, seeing people's weaknesses and not throwing them in their face, having some compassion around it and easing the journey for them, because no one's perfect. The little secret is here, we all have fears. Everybody has a fear of being vulnerable about something. Even Beyonce, all the greats, everybody, it's a human instinct to hold fear around being seen. We cannot keep ourselves suppressed and living like we are in this competitive rat race, the human race, not called that for no reason other than it's just this big race, to this competitive, perpetual cycle of self-suppression. You have to have compassion and live without fear. Fear of judgment of others, and maybe you'll just inspire others to do the same. If you can do that yourself, maybe show up next time you're at your mate's barbecue, and instead of sitting around bitching about each other, the neighbour, the whatever, when you sit down and do a little exercise of saying nothing but positive stuff about other people, instead of tearing people down to either make yourself feel better or just to ridicule someone because they don't think the same as you. We're not all the same. We are not all the same. We all are having different growth spurts of our realities, and we all need to have a bit more love and understanding in the world. I really hope this sunk in and hit home to a few people, because it's important. It's important to me, this message, and it should be important to all of you, because no one's better than anyone else. And if we all just understood that we're all the same and we all have the same fears inside of us, isn't that nice to know? Isn't that nice to hear that we all have the same things going on? And at the end of the day, no one really cares what anyone else is up to. Your immediates do, your immediate family and loved ones do, but no one else really cares. They just want to ridicule you for being, why is she wearing green pants? Everyone else is wearing red ones. Who cares? Flick it off. Hopefully we can rise up as a bit of a entity of humans in this world and start living the life that we're supposed to be, because we're not afraid to really be ourselves. Just a bit of change of perceptions and how you see vulnerability moving forwards from here. A bit of understanding, giving and receiving that. Maybe if you give a bit of understanding for other people when they're vulnerable, make them feel ease around that, then you'll get a bit of understanding back. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's good to chat again. Get in the comments section if you want to chat about anything that I've mentioned. See you in the next video.